if again the seas are silent in any still alive.
Robert Fripp is a dapper gentleman guitarist who perches on a stool to play and looks like the complete opposite of any kind of big hairy rock god. He is the kingpin and has been for years of the band King Crimson. He has been involved in many recordings, his own solo stuff, King Crimson, and many other people's work. Wikipedia reckons he's been involved in over 700 albums. He is a very innovative guitarist. He created a reverb tape echo system called Frippatronics. He has experimented with alternative tunings, and he is married to Toya Wilcox. Hi, my name's Dan. So this is a solo album by Robert Fripp. Of course, saying solo album, there's a lot of other people involved really, but it's released under his name and therefore presumably mostly under his control. It's an odd album. He has said that it is an exploration of pop music. I would say it's very really not pop music. There is one song which could be classed as a rock and roll song, which is You Burn Me Up With a Cigarette, but most of the rest is quite diverse and odd. It's got soundscapes like the Water Music tracks 1 and 2. It's got some gentle songs like the song Mary, but it ranges up to chaotic, complex, progressive rock stuff. Particularly the sounds that are used are quite individual to Robert Fripp and his guitar technique and the sounds that he uses with his guitar. Probably the most, I don't know if it's the most extreme, but it's the most typical of King Crimson from the coming era from there is a track called Breathless. I thought I recognised it. I maybe have heard it on a live King Crimson album. I'm not sure. It's got a lot of oddities going on with it. So it's strange arpeggios mostly. I think this would class as being modal, but they're very odd modes that he's using. So he seems to have kind of like a scale that he uses and does arpeggios inside that, but it's not a standard scale. And then he switches to another one, and so it just keeps moving between these different scales. It's got some strange time signatures and rhythms going on. Not every bar is the same length as the other bars. He's got what I believe are called polymeters going on, where you've got some instruments playing in one kind of bar length and some playing in a different bar length, so that the rhythms kind of overlap and get out of sync with each other. And it's all very, very complex and odd in that sense. There's other stuff in there as well. There's the track Exposure, which involves a woman screaming at various points. In between, there's bits of vignettes and some speech snatches that are being used, almost like the way that they used in electronica and possibly even hip hop. It's pretty much impossible to encapsulate the idea of this album or the range of what's going on here in just the two clips. I'm going to have one at the beginning or at the end. So you're only going to get a bit of an idea unless you go off and listen to it, I guess. It features some people that I have heard of, quite a few of them, in fact. Daryl Hall from the duo Hall & Oates, which was a bit of a surprise to me. Peter Hamill from Van der Graaf Generator, who's got one of the most amazing gravelly voices that I've come across. Peter Gabriel, who everybody's heard of. Brian Eno, who most people have heard of. Tony Levin, who maybe not so many people have heard of. He's probably my favourite prog rock bassist. Narada Michael Walden and a guy called Phil Collins on drums for different tracks. One of the tracks is a reimagining of a track called Here Comes the Flood by Peter Gabriel, so Peter Gabriel sings it. Mostly he has other people writing the lyrics, but he's been writing the music for this. Have you got the impression that I think it's odd? Well, I maybe don't think it's as odd as some people would, because I'm used to King Crimson. I'm quite a big fan of King Crimson. This appears in the gap before the album Discipline, if you know any of the stuff of the King Crimson, and it has some similarities musically to the three albums that are coming out in a few years from King Crimson, which are Discipline, Beat, and Three of a Perfect Pair. It is definitely a specialist listening, I would say. I am that kind of person who enjoys this sort of thing, so I'm going to give this quite a high score. But I think if you're looking for very kind of normal songs, this is not the right thing. If you're looking for something that's odd, complex, and a little challenging at times, but definitely skilled, then you might like this. I'd love to know what you think. So please let me know in the comments below. That's it from me for now.